Welcome, friends, and at the sound of the squeaky mic stand, you know for sure. Oh, you know what? I never changed my audio. I was doing so well. I gotta look around the camera now. You know, I'm so good. Oh, hey, my audio was good the whole time. Who knew? I never do this smoothly. Never, ever. Hi, John Weber here. I am so imperfect. Oh, I can't even tell you. I prove it constantly. The chat is already jumping with wonderful comments. Of course, my good friend and co-producer of so many of the shows that we do here on the Weber Internet thingy, Joe Townsell, and joetownsell.com. Just like the Unfriend Zone commercial says, you should go visit. And we have Chris. Chris is with us. Oh, I'm so glad you're here for this one. And Chris is saying hello to Spider Hat. Sure, Spidey Hat. Yeah, you can call him that. There's our good friend, our amigo, Raphael. Good evening, John and Spider Hat. Tip of the Spider Hat to you, my friends. Spider Hat, of course, I don't know how long I'm going to keep doing this gimmick. I don't know how long I'm going to do any of our gimmicks. I will tell you something exciting is coming up this Sunday. Oh, it's a big new move for me and Joe Townsell. We are very excited about it. Can't wait to unfold it for you, but I'm going to wait till after the show for that. What we're going to talk about tonight, of course, is the show The Falcon. Now, The Falcon is a mostly forgotten radio detective, and that's a shame because he was very popular in the 40s and the 50s. Very, very popular. Had a lot of chapters in his life and his existence, and we will go through some of them tonight. The Falcon was a series of movies. Now, last week, we listened to a show from The Saint. And the Saint was a very popular character, extremely popular for many decades. People loved the Saint, but there did come a point where Leslie Charteris, the author who created and wrote the books and the stories for the Saint, raised his prices. And so everyone who was working with him now had to pay a little more to use the Saint. In the movies, RKO, the movie studio, said, oh, we're not paying more. Oh, no, absolutely not. And they'd been making a series of very, very successful series of low budget pictures starring the Saint. And when the price went up, they said, we're just going to change the name. So they went out and they looked for another character they could find. They found the Falcon. So the whole operation, George Sanders starring in the films as they were constructed, how they looked, how they sounded, all of that was the same. Except instead of being called the Saint, he was now called the Falcon. It's crazy. The Falcon that we're going to hear was a different Falcon. Oh my gosh, how could that even be? Yeah, it's crazy. The Falcon that was very popular in the movies was actually a character that had been created in 1940. Well, earlier, and by the way, his name was Gay Falcon. That was his name. People were called gay way back in the day. It didn't mean everything it means now. Eventually, they changed the name to Gay Lawrence. Oh yeah, they made it normal. And he was called the Falcon. That character was a late entry. That was not the classic character. The classic character was actually a guy named Michael Waring. And Michael Waring was a two-fisted tough guy. Now, they didn't make movies about him. They made novels and they made short stories. And they made a radio series, which was weird because you had on the screen in movie theaters a different guy called the Falcon. But on radio, they brought back the original character. I know this is nuts. This character was written by a well-known author named Charles H. Huff. Under the pseudonym Drexel Drake, he created the character we're going to hear tonight, Michael Waring. This is a great character. This is in that great tradition of not like a Philo Vance or a oh my gosh, Ellery Queen. You know, there were these detectives that were well known and well liked by the police. But then there were guys that the police didn't like so much. And one of those guys was the Falcon, Michael Waring. He would dispense his own kind of justice. He was not a goody two-shoes. He was a two-fisted, hard-boiled noir detective. And if you like that kind of detective, and a lot of us do, you're going to enjoy this show. It is quite good. Now, I've been on a tear. Have the boys been talking? The Saint begat the Falcon in the way that they needed someone very similar. And, you know, the later version of the Falcon, and I should tell you about who wrote that. His name was Michael Arlen. He created in a short story in 1940. So this is 4 years after the Michael Waring Falcon was the creation of Gay Falcon. I'm sorry. I'm such a child. His name was Gay Falcon. I'm sorry. They did change it to make it a little better. Gay Lawrence. I'm sorry. There's nothing funny about being gay. There's nothing funny. There's nothing wrong. It's just I'm a child and the words are funny to me. But let me tell you, there is absolutely nothing wrong with gay being associated with you in any way. So just please put up with me saying these words and occasionally giggling. All right, let's get to the show. I've probably wasted way too much time here. Oh yeah, I've wasted so much time. Chris says, I went into the Air Force in 1968 and gay meant happy. When I got out in 1972, it meant gay. That's the thing about us old guys. We have stories. And of course, Raphael quoting Seinfeld, not that there's anything wrong with that. No, not at all. People should be who they are. There's nothing wrong with it. That's my imitation of Jerry Seinfeld. All right, here we go. I'm going to share the screen. And you can probably sit there and go, John, you don't need to tell us every little thing you're doing. Okay. Who is providing this recording? I can tell you this much. It is a really good recording. We're back with our friend Michael Deegan. Michael Deegan put up a beautiful sounding recording of this episode from the Adventures of the Falcon. It's November 5th, 1950. This is the 10th episode of that season, and it's called The Case of the Rich Racketeer.
The Adventures of the Falcon, starring Les Damon.
Hello? Yes, this is the Falcon speaking. Oh, June. I was just thinking about you, Angela. The theater tonight? No, I'm sorry, I'm working on a case. Of course, I know those tickets were hard to get, but so was the murderer. And I've got a date with one in exactly half an hour.
This is Ed Hurley, friends, inviting you to listen to The Adventures of the Falcon. You met the Falcon first in his best-selling novels. than you saw him in his thrilling motion picture series. Now join him on the air when the Falcon solves the case of the Rich Racketeer. And now, the case of the Rich Racketeer. It's Sunday afternoon in New York City. A cab pulls up in front of a large Central Park West apartment building, and two men get out. One of the men is big, beefy, and florid, while the other is slim and quick-moving. The two men hurriedly enter the building and ride the elevator up to the 10th floor, where Florid Face leads the way to one of the apartments and opens the door.
Flo? Hey, Flo. Guess my wife's not home yet. Come on, Garland. Come on in. Let's get this over.
Excellent idea, Sullivan. Excellent.
Wait there and leave your hat and coat on. Won't take me but a second to write a check.
Check?
Yeah, check.
I think I'd rather have cash, Sullivan. I was much too good in court this afternoon to warrant a check.
Okay, so you were good. You were swell. You were better than usual. You're still the best business finagler in New York. But you're going to get a check.
Finagler is a nasty word. Almost as nasty as racketeer.
Yeah, but racketeer is better, Garland. You see, in my business, you don't have to pretend to be something you're not.
But you do have to be smart.
Yeah, that's right. You have to be smart. Now then, here's your check. Take it and blow. I got a date in a little while.
Only $1,000?
You're lucky to get that much. Hey, don't tear that up.
Why, you cheap chiseling punk. I saved your fat neck this afternoon. An income tax evasion charge is the only way they catch guys like you. And I cleared you. I got you off scot-free because there wasn't any evidence of the money you made. They could have ruined you.
Yeah, but they didn't.
No, they didn't. And I'll tell you why they didn't. Because I advised you not to keep any records or books. I told you to keep your profits on hand in cash and not to keep it in any banks.
So what?
So I want my share now, and I want it in cash. I know you've got more than 300 grand salted away.
You're crazy, Garland.
Oh, no, I'm not. I know you've got that money, Sullivan, and I want my share. I want it right now and fast. I want $30,000, and I want it in cash.
Oh, why, you stupid little... Say, hey, that's the way you want to play it, huh?
That's the way, Sullivan. I'm not bluffing. It's loaded, and I'm not afraid to use it. So if you want to enjoy your freedom, hand over the 30 grand.
Now, look, Garland, be reasonable. Put that gun away.
Not a chance.
But you're wrong. I swear you are. I'm broke. That $1,000 check I just wrote will practically wipe me out.
You expect me to believe that?
It's true. Now, listen. I know you deserve a bigger fee, but I can't give it to you now. Later, I'll
No,
try.
quit stalling, Sullivan. Where's the money? I know you got it.
I dumped it in an oil deal out west. I thought I could really clean up, but something went wrong.
You never took a chance in your life, and an oil well is a gamble. You're a sure thing player. Come on, Sullivan. Getting tired of holding this gun. Where's my $30,000?
I tell you,
Get it
Garland,
quick, Sullivan, or I'm going to pull this trigger. What the...
Larry, what in the world?
Look out, Flo. This gun might... No, you don't. Oh, yes, I do. Oh. That's better. I'll just keep this gun as a souvenir. Now get out of here before I break it over your head.
What's going on here anyway?
Shut up. Okay, Garland, get going.
You made a mistake, Mr. Sullivan. A big mistake. I want that 30 grand, and I intend to get it.
That little bum might have killed me with his gun if you hadn't opened the door and banged into him.
That's too bad. If I'd known, I'd have waited outside in the hall.
What?
You heard me.
What's eating you?
You are.
Come on. Spill it. What's on your mind?
A blue-eyed, baby-faced little blonde named Bonnie Shaw.
Bonnie? What are you talking about?
Get wise to yourself, Larry. Did you really think you were kidding me? Don't you think I know where you've been spending your evenings?
Now, wait a minute, Flo. You don't know what
Take
you're
your
talking...
hands off me, you piggy. I've been a sap for a long time, but now you're going to pay and pay plenty.
How did you find out about Bonnie and me?
A little bird told me.
I said, how did you find out?
And I said a little... You're going to be sorry for that, Larry. Very sorry.
Yeah? But not as sorry as you're going to be. Your little bird didn't tell you quite enough. Sure, I've got a girl named Bonnie Shaw, and I'm nuts about her. I'm going to divorce you and marry Bonnie just as soon as possible.
Really?
And I got more news for you, too, baby. Just in case you think you're going to hook me. I'm broke. I've been wiped out completely. You can't get a dime out of me.
That's too bad, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a shame. I feel so bad about it, I'm apt to bust out crying if I hang around here any longer. So get away from that door and let me out.
Sure, Larry, I'll let you go, but not with Bonnie Shaw.
Try and stop me.
Wait, Larry. You're forgetting something, aren't you?
Now, look, Flo. Put that gun down.
Why, Larry, I only wanted to hand it to you. It belongs to your lawyer friend. Don't you want to give it back to him?
Why, yes. Maybe I'd better.
No. On second thought, I don't think he needs it as badly as I do.
You?
Yes, darling. I've just thought of a wonderful use for it.
Well, what are you going to do?
Why, can't you guess, Larry? I'm the forgotten middle-aged wife who's been dropped without a cent. I'm going in the bedroom and blow my brains out.
Oh, don't kid me, baby. You'd never do that.
You're so right, darling. I'd never, never do that.
Sorry I'm late, Bonnie, but
Nice little hideaway you got here, Sullivan. Miles from the city. Woods all around. Lake out front. You couldn't have picked a sweeter love nest.
who are you?
My name's Shaw. I'm Tom Shaw.
Sure.
Yeah, I got a sister named Bonnie. Mean anything to you?
You're Bonnie's brother?
That's right.
Where is she?
She'll probably be along in a few minutes.
Say, I don't get this. Bonnie didn't tell me you'd be here.
She didn't know it.
And what are you doing here?
I'm telling you to stay away from Bonnie.
Maybe she'll have something to say about that.
Bonnie's just a kid. She doesn't know what she's doing.
Now, look, Shaw. You got the wrong idea. I'm crazy about Bonnie. We're in love. We're going to get married.
No, you're wrong, Sullivan. And even if you meant it, I'd die before I'd let her throw herself away on a grafting racketeer like you. Guy who's old enough to be a father, who's already married.
You told my wife about Bonnie.
Sure, I told her.
Why, you little...
My jaw.
Next time, it won't be your jaw. It'll be your neck. Now, get out of here and stay out.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll get out, Sullivan. But I'm coming back with a gun.
Operator,
I want to call New York City.
what number, please?
You'll have to look it up. I want to make a person-to-person call to Mike Waring, the private detective who's known as the Falcon.
You know, Angel, you got the bluest eyes. Yeah, they go so well with... Hand me the phone, will you, Angel?
Don't answer it, Mike. Let it ring.
Got to hand it to me, huh?
Oh, all right.
Don't you like that? Yes?
Is this Mike Waring, the Falcon?
Yes, it's the Falcon speaking.
Must be something wrong with this connection. For a second, I thought,
Oh, never mind what you thought. Just tell me what you want.
I want to hire you.
Right now?
Yes. Why? Are you working on something else?
Yes, I am.
Well, then drop it. This job's important to me, and I'm willing to pay plenty if you'll come out here right away.
Where are you?
My cottage at Tallow Lake.
Oh, it's 10:30 now. I couldn't get there much before midnight.
I know that.
All right, what's the job?
I'm working on a very important deal at the moment, and it's absolutely necessary to keep my movements secret. I'm pretty sure that somebody's been following me this evening. I want you to find out who it is.
You say money is no object, Sullivan?
None at all.
Okay, keep talking then. Just exactly where is this cottage of yours?
Hello?
Sullivan,
Yes. Who's this?
the same guy who called you this morning.
You mean about my husband?
That's right.
Who are you, anyway?
Never mind who I am. I just found out where your husband is meeting Bonnie Shaw.
Where?
In the last cottage down the road on Tallow Lake. He's there now waiting for her. If you're interested in keeping him, you better go out and bring him home right away.
And if I'm not interested?
Well, in that case, you might drop him a farewell note. Because I have a hunch he's going on a long, long trip.
now back to the Adventures of the Falcon. It's an hour and a half later. Mike Waring has just stopped his car outside Larry Sullivan's secluded cottage at Tallow Lake. The light is on in the living room, but the house and countryside are strangely quiet. Mike walks up to the front door and knocks. There's no answer, no sound from inside. He opens the door. Stops suddenly. Across the room with her back pressed tensely against the closed bedroom door stands a beautiful, young, very frightened blonde.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. When I knocked and nobody answered,
I'm not scared.
You better try again, Angel. It's not that cold in here.
I don't understand.
You're trembling. Why?
I don't know.
Okay, have it your way. Where's Sullivan?
Larry,
I don't know his first name. He called himself Sullivan, and he hired me to come out here.
why?
Said he needed a detective.
You're a policeman?
No, I'm a private detective. Hey, what's the matter with you, anyway? Where's Sullivan?
He's not here. He's gone. He won't be back. Please, you'd better go now.
Now, wait a minute, Angel. Not so fast. What's behind that closed door?
It's just the bedroom.
Who's in there?
Nobody at all. Please.
Now, don't try to kid me, Angel. If Sullivan's changed his mind about needing a detective, he's not going to brush me without getting out his checkbook.
No, please don't open the...
No wonder you got the shakes. Blood gives me the jitters, too. This Sullivan?
Yes,
With a bullet hole in the back of his head.
Larry.
Okay, you can cut out the act. I'm not impressed.
Act?
Yes, where's the gun?
The gun?
The gun you killed him with. It's not here. Where is it?
You think I killed Larry?
You just try to get rid of me. You're scared, silly, and you knew he was in there.
No, you're wrong. I didn't shoot Larry. I just got here a few minutes ago. I found him in there. I was frightened. I didn't know what to do.
Why were you tailing him tonight?
I don't understand.
He told me on the phone that somebody was following him. That's why he hired me. He wanted me to find out who it was.
I wasn't following Larry. I came here to meet him tonight. I loved him. We were going to be married just as soon as his wife divorced him.
He already had a wife?
Yes. She killed him. She must have found out about us and come here tonight.
That's possible. She might have been the person who was following him.
Of course, it must have been his wife, don't you see?
Well, not yet, but a little outside help might clear it up. Where's the phone?
What are you going to do?
Call the police.
Oh, no, wait. I mean, you've got to understand about us, about Larry and me.
Yeah, sure, I know. You can tell me all about it after I put in this call.
No, please don't call him
Now,
until...
look, Angel, you can't pump bullets at a bald spot without letting the police in on the fun. Somehow, I don't think they'd like it at all. Bonnie Shaw,
Yes, Mr. Waring. I've told you the truth. Larry and I loved each other. I had no reason to kill him.
Sullivan told me he was working on some sort of big deal. You know anything about it?
No, he never told me about his business.
What about Sullivan's wife? Did you know...
What's the matter?
Just heard somebody out on the porch. Keep talking, Angel.
I'm sure she must have found out about us.
You looking for somebody?
Tom, what are you doing here?
You know this fellow?
Oh, yeah, of course I know him. He's my brother.
Bonnie, you've got to listen to reason. Come home with me. You can't throw yourself away on a no-good racketeer like Sullivan.
Tom, you're hurt. What happened to your jaw?
I came here earlier tonight to talk to Sullivan, but he couldn't see things my way. We had a fight and he hit me.
Is that why you shot him?
Why? Wait a minute. What's going on here? Who are you?
A lot of people call me the Falcon.
Bonnie, what's happened? Where's Sullivan?
He's lying in there on the bedroom floor with a bullet hole in the back of his head.
He's dead?
Definitely.
Hey, let go of me. What's the idea?
I just wanted to see if you had a gun.
What, are you satisfied?
Oh, no, you could have thrown it away out there in the woods.
You think I killed Sullivan?
You said you had a fight with him tonight?
Yes, we had a fight, but I didn't kill him. I was plenty sore when he threw me out, but I cooled off after I called his wife.
You called Sullivan's wife tonight?
Yes.
Why, you contemptible
All right,
little...
take it easy, Angel.
I did it for your own good, Bonnie.
And Sullivan's wife did know about him and Bonnie.
Of course she knew. Wait a minute, maybe she did.
Of course she did it.
Why did you come back here, Shaw?
Well, after I called Sullivan's wife, I got to thinking. I thought that if she came out here, maybe the two of us could break this up.
Oh, sure. The police are going to love that story.
Did you call the cops?
Yes, of course. They'll be here any minute
I'm
now.
getting out. They're not going to find me
Not
here.
so fast.
Get out of my way!
You knocked him out.
Yes, well, he'll get over it. And it might jar him into telling the truth when the police wake him up for a chat.
husband took the gun away from Mr. Garland and told him to get out.
Did you tell the police about that?
Well, certainly I told them. But they seemed to think that Tom Shaw was the killer. Of course, they said they'd questioned Mr. Garland this morning.
Mm-hmm. Did you leave this apartment last night after your husband went out?
Why, no.
Could you prove that?
I don't think so. Why? What are you driving at, Mr. Waring?
Your husband was running around with another woman, and you had just found it out.
Do you think I killed Larry?
Your motive was even better than the others.
That's ridiculous. I couldn't kill anybody.
Well, you seem to be taking your husband's death pretty calmly. No tear-stained handkerchiefs or swollen eyes.
Why should I pretend? He meant nothing to me anymore. I didn't even mind the fact that he had this girl, Bonnie Shaw.
You weren't jealous?
Certainly not. I knew he was going to leave me, but I didn't care at all. I'll be honest with you, Mr. Waring. If I could have gotten money from Larry, I might have tried to hang on to him, or at least make him pay plenty to get rid of me. But he was wiped out. He didn't have a dime.
Your husband was broke?
Yes. He told me so last night, just before he went out. So you see, he was of no more use to me. I actually was glad he was going to leave me, but I certainly had no reason to kill him.
I see.
Oh, excuse me.
Yes, of course.
Mr. Garland.
Oh, forgive me for calling so early in the morning, Mrs. Sullivan. I wanted to see Larry before he went out. I'm sorry about that trouble we had last night, and I want to apologize.
You don't know about...
Is this the business manager you were telling me about?
Yes, this is Mr. Garland.
Well, what's wrong, Mrs. Sullivan? Where's Larry?
He was murdered last night.
Larry's dead?
Yes.
Why, well, that's terrible. I had no idea.
Did you read the morning papers?
No. You see, I was upset about that quarrel last night, and I wanted to hurry over here as fast as possible.
That quarrel last night gives you a pretty swell motive, darling.
I didn't even know about the murder.
Yeah, well, you could be lying about that.
No, I'm not lying.
But you did threaten him.
Well, I was only bluffing. He owed me money, and I wanted it. I swear I didn't shoot Larry. I couldn't have done it. They took my gun away from me. It's still here.
There are other guns.
Well, I tell you, I didn't do it.
Tell me about this money you say Sullivan owed you.
Well, I did some financial work for him, and I felt he owed me a much larger fee than he was willing to pay. Naturally, that made me angry, and I guess I lost my head. I had the gun in my pocket.
Why?
Well, I always carry it. I have a license for it. There are certain people who have threatened me from time to time.
Okay. So you pulled the gun on Sullivan.
Yes. I thought I might frighten him into paying me what I wanted. It did frighten him, and he told me the truth.
The truth?
Yes, he was broke. He literally couldn't pay me. At first, I didn't believe him, but he finally convinced me that he was telling the truth when Mrs. Sullivan came in unexpectedly and gave him the chance to grab the gun.
Did Bonnie Shaw know that Sullivan was broke?
Who was she?
Or didn't you know Sullivan had a young girlfriend?
No, I had no idea. I mean, I only knew him professionally. He never discussed his personal life with me.
Mr. Waring, isn't it just possible that...
Had Bonnie Shaw killed your husband?
Yes.
That's why I wondered if she knew Sullivan was broke. He might have been stringing her along, telling her he was rich, and last night she may have found out the truth.
Hello, Mike.
What? What are you doing in my apartment, Bonnie?
Mike, I've been trying to find you all morning.
You don't waste much time, do you, Angel? It was Mr. Waring last night.
Oh, I'm sorry. It just slipped out.
Uh-huh. We'll make it a habit, huh? I like the intimate touch.
You look tired.
Yeah, I know. Working for nothing always wears me out.
I don't understand.
I've been using my talents out of pure curiosity this morning. Sullivan hired me last night, but he didn't pay me any money.
Then maybe you let me hire you.
You?
Yes, Mike. You've got to help Tom.
Have they arrested him?
Not yet, but they held him for questioning all night. He denies the murder, so they had to let him go this morning because of lack of evidence. But I want to hire you to find the real murderer.
Are you sure about that?
Of course. Please, Mike, please let me hire you to clear Tom.
I cost money, you know.
I don't have very much, but I'll try.
That mink coat you're wearing doesn't exactly look like a ticket to the poorhouse.
Don't let this coat fool you. I didn't pay for it. Larry gave it to me as a present.
Sullivan gave you that coat?
Yes.
When?
About a week ago. Why, what's wrong?
Sullivan claimed he was broke.
But that's ridiculous. He had lots of money. In fact, he told me he just made a tremendous killing in some sort of business deal, and that's why we...
That's why you what?
No, nothing.
Now, come clean, Angel. If you want my help, you've got to tell me the truth.
All right, Mike. I'll tell you the truth. Larry wasn't broke, I know. You see, we weren't going to wait for his divorce. We were going to South America together. In fact, he already had the steamer tickets.
And a stack of money in cash?
Yes.
You know where that money is?
No, Mike, I don't. I swear I don't.
You wouldn't lie to me, would you, Angel?
No, Mike, I wouldn't lie to you. I couldn't, you know that, darling.
Well, that's a nice try, but you'd have to do better than that. All right, wrap that mink around your lovely shoulders. We're going treasure hunting.
Where to?
Out to Sullivan's cottage on Tallow Lake.
Now, back to the Adventures of the Falcon. An hour has passed since Mike set out for Tallow Lake with Bonnie Shaw. Now they've arrived.
Mike, look.
Yeah, looks like a cyclone hit the place. Well, I'm not surprised.
The murderer was here searching for the money,
Yes, of course.
and he's beaten us to it. He must have found it if Larry had it hidden here.
Now, don't be too sure about that, Angel.
You don't think the money was here?
Oh, yes, I'm sure it was here. And I think it still is.
But why?
Now, look at this room. Everything is torn up, drawers are emptied, pillows slashed, rugs thrown back. Nothing's been overlooked.
I don't understand.
Now, it's simple, Angel. If the place was only partly torn up, it might mean the killer had found the money. But everything in here has been gone over carefully, and more than once. That means he hasn't found it yet.
And Mikey may still be here. Maybe we interrupted him.
Yes, maybe, but I've got another idea I like a lot better.
What?
The murderer knew about the money, but didn't get a chance to search for it last night after killing Sullivan. So this morning early, the killer came back out here, went over the cottage, but couldn't find the money. So the murderer got the bright idea of hiring me, a detective, to help find the missing cash.
Mike, you don't think that
Well, after all, Angel, you knew about the money and the others didn't.
No, Mike, the others could have known. Even Tom could have known about it.
Yeah, sure, but I don't... Oh, down on the floor, quick!
What happened?
Well, guess I owe you an apology, Angel. We did interrupt the murderer, and he just tried to kill me.
And he's out there in the woods. He may try to come up here.
Hold it.
What is it?
Listen.
Car.
Yeah, he must have hidden it in the woods. He missed once and decided not to try again, so...
What's the matter?
Look over there on the floor.
The wall mirror. The bullet smashed it.
Yes, and look what was hidden behind the glass.
An envelope.
An envelope. And full of $1,000 bills.
Larry's money.
Oh, brother, that's irony for you. The murderer couldn't find it, but his bullet did.
He's not a very good shot.
Wait a minute. Shot.
What?
Thanks, Angel. You just told me something I should have known 3 hours ago.
What do you mean?
The murderer. I know who it is now.
Who, Mike?
Sullivan's lawyer, Arthur Garland. Would you like a drink now?
Not until you tell me how you knew Garland was the killer.
Well, now that the police have caught up with him, I guess I can. You see, Garland made one little slip. A slip that I didn't recognize until you mentioned the word shot. Then it clicked suddenly.
What?
Well, you see, when I talked to Garland this morning, he claimed he didn't even know about the murder.
Yes.
Well, neither Mrs. Sullivan nor I told him any of the details, yet he knew Sullivan had been shot. He said, I swear I didn't shoot Larry. Well, Sullivan might have been stabbed, poisoned, or bashed over the head for all he knew. So how else would Garland have known Sullivan had been shot unless he himself had done the shooting?
Mike, you're wonderful. I'd never have thought of that.
Well, you're not a detective, Angel.
No. But I might like to be a detective's wife.
All right, swell. I know a couple of boys in the force who'd love a wife like you.
Okay, Mike, you win. But you can't blame me for trying, can you?
No, not me. I like persistent women.
Oh, good. I'll have that drink now.
Okay.
Then I promise to try again.
This is NBC, the national broadcasting company.
Oh, I think that's it. Yeah, that is it. Oh my God, stop sharing. No. You gotta stop. There you go. All right. Well, okay, that was a mystery. That was quite a mystery. That is a very good additional mystery, Chris. What happened to that envelope? Well, I'm sure it was given to the police as evidence. And of course, great organ music tonight from, my God, I knew his name a minute ago. It was Bob something. This is so silly. Bob Hamilton. Bob Hamilton. There was actually an orchestra behind Bob Hamilton, but I love that they kept him just like they would on a low budget radio show, having an organist, because somehow he's the most active. He's the most like clever, the one who really delivers, the moments and the stings of excitement and intrigue. I just love that. So the the thing about the Falcon is it was a relatively popular character. The stories were liked, the Michael Waring stories especially. There were more than one. But as I told you, there was another character created later. And that character, of course, was named Gay Falcon. And then eventually they changed the name to Gay Lawrence. And that character became a very important character because what was going on the other side of the entertainment universe was the character, the Saint, Simon Templar, created by Leslie Charteris, was very popular. And he was in a long series of movies starring, George Sanders, big movie star George Sanders. Now, George Sanders was enjoying being in these pictures, but he was also getting auditions and requests to be in much bigger movies. So he kind of wanted to move along. And as that process was developing, Leslie Charteris, the author who created the Saint, started saying to everyone who was using the Saint in movies and radio shows and books and what have you, he started saying, look, you guys, I'm raising the licensing fee. You're going to have to pay more for the Saint. Well, RKO was not a very wealthy studio, and they had an attitude about that. And so they looked around and said, is there any character similar to the Saint? And they looked at Gay Falcon. When they looked at this character, he was a snappy dresser. He was very sophisticated and erudite. George Sanders was perfect to play this new version of the Saint, so of the Falcon. So when Leslie Charteris said, if you want to be the Saint, you got to pay more, they said, fine, now he's the Falcon. And so George Sanders continued for 3 more pictures to be the Falcon, the new version of the Saint. It's crazy. Not only that, but now he was definitely in a position where he wanted to get out of that role. George Sanders had it with these low budget pictures and not being on the big screen for a big studio in big movies. And George Sanders was a great actor. Don't get me wrong. Fantastic actor. He was right to value himself so much. So he talked it over with the producers. And what the producers said was, fine, we'll replace you with the Falcon's brother. George Sanders had a brother. His brother worked under the name Tom Conway. Tom Conway was not as well known or as well respected or well regarded as George Sanders, but he was a great actor and people loved him. George Sanders could be a lot. George Sanders was, and we will be talking about this next week. George Sanders, didn't realize I'd left that up on the screen. There we go. George Sanders was well known as a cad. He was fancy, he was sophisticated, but he was a bit of a jerk, and the world allowed him to be. And so what George Sanders would end up doing as the Falcon is he agreed to do one more Falcon movie. He'd done 2. He wanted to do one more. And in this one, the Falcon would be replaced by his brother after the original Falcon gets killed. And his brother, Tom Conway, would now solve his brother's murder, which he did in that picture, and then took over the name The Falcon. The studio wasn't sure this was going to work. they actually only allowed one picture in which the Falcon's brother solves the murder of the original Falcon. But it was so beloved that Tom Conway did 9 more pictures as the Falcon. So that very famous handoff of the Falcon from George Sanders to his brother, that was reflected in movies, and very popular, the Falcon movies. Now, because the Falcon movies were popular, they created a Falcon TV series. I'm sorry, they did eventually a TV series. They created a Falcon radio series, and that's what we just heard. The Falcon radio series didn't base themselves off Gay Lawrence. Sorry, still making me laugh. It was based on Michael Waring. So you had Falcon movies in the theater starring George Sanders' older brother, Tom. Meanwhile, on the air, you had a completely different Falcon, Michael Waring, played by Les Tremaine and Les Damon, and these really good actors, but it was a very different kind of character. That sort of thing, it's rare that it'll happen, that 2 completely different versions are in 2 completely different media. But there you go. It actually happened. Now, yeah, I'm telling you, it's nuts. It's nuts. So what you had at this point was Tom Conway taking over the role in the movies of the Falcon. And people kind of knew that. They kind of knew that existed. Eventually, we're going to get to Sherlock Holmes. So actually, Raphael at one point was saying, how does this connect to our thread of Basil Rathbone and Sherlock Holmes? Well, next week, I'm going to play one of the very rare radio shows. George Sanders did not like radio. And I'm going to play you a George Sanders show, because I want you to hear what a great actor he was, even vocally. If you're like me and you ever saw the Disney cartoon of Jungle Book, Shere Khan, the tiger villain, the Darth Vader of the Walt Disney Jungle Book, he was played by George Sanders. George Sanders' voice work is wonderful. He's a fantastic acting voice. So we're going to listen to a show starring George next week. It is a show from the Lux Radio Theater. It's very exciting. I never thought I'd be playing one of those for you, but I will be next week. And then the following week, we'll go back to Sherlock Holmes, and we'll listen to George Sanders' older brother, Tom Conway, as he took over from Basil Rathbone playing Sherlock Holmes. So 2 weeks from tonight, we're going to hear another Sherlock Holmes. It'll be Tom Conway, George's brother, as Sherlock Holmes. And then I will tell you, basically, there's no secret to it. The Sherlock Holmes radio show just kind of fell apart after Basil Rathbone left. And the question I want to answer, and I'm hoping you can help me answer, our mystery to solve is, was it deserved? Did Tom Conway really do such a bad job? So we'll hear that in 2 weeks. Next week, a really fun show, and I'm wondering if I can find it right off the top of my head, because our good friend George Sanders... Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to find it. Our good friend George Sanders, I can't remember which episode of Lux Theater we're going to listen to, but it's a great show, Lux Theater. Oh, one of the biggest budget radio shows there ever was. It is huge in scale. They got the best of the best. It's really, I mean, when we listen to these little half-hour detective shows, they're low-budget radio. When I play you a high-budget radio story, oh boy, that's going to be exciting. So that's, again, next week, George Sanders, the professional cad himself, on Lux Radio Theater. Let me tell you very quickly what else is going on. We have on Sunday a very special show at a very special time. We're going to go back to 7 p.m. I like 7 p.m. The shows we're going to play for a while are only about an hour. So if you're, Raphael, I'm only asking you to stay up from 10 to 11. I hope that'll work. Our good friend Raphael's in New Jersey. I hope that'll work. If it won't work, we can certainly talk about it, my friend. But yes, this coming Sunday, we're going to pull out an old show that Joe and I used to do. It was called The Haunted Radio. I'm not going to say the full name because it's just way too much. One of the reasons why I don't think it did very well. But The Haunted Radio is, Raphael says, I'll sleep when I'm dead. I love you, Raphael. I don't tell you enough, but it is so great to have you as one of our regulars here. We're going to be listening to, as part of the overall Sunday night television experience, streaming experience, The Wonderful World of Weber. Okay, Townsville came up with that name. I never would have come up with that myself, but I appreciate it so much, Joe. We're going to be listening to a great show. Oh my gosh. It was from the Columbia Workshop. It's a radio show. And it was an adaptation of Rossum's Universal Robots. It is the piece of fiction that introduced the word robot, even though they pronounce it robot, which is awesome. But we're going to cover that show, and it's fun. I listened to it again really recently, and I was like, damn, Joe and I did a really good show. It's a shame it only had like 4 views on YouTube. What a shame. But we're going to bring it back for the Redux, whole different kind of format for the Redux. So that will be a lot of fun. Mike Sauter says, I love me some robots. Oh, who doesn't? Who doesn't? And thank you very much, Raphael. Yes, we want people to like and subscribe. We are also on Retro Trekkers on did I not? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm reading a message from Joe. Retro Trekkers, Joe Townsell, myself, and our good friend Eric Kramer, who is a regular on the show. He accepted the job. I'm so happy. Joe is just over the moon. We're going to be playing for you. We're going to be recapping and reviewing. That's what we do on Retro Trekkers. And we'll be analyzing in the late honor of St. Patrick's Day, the episode from Star Trek The Next Generation, Sub Rosa, basically the episode where Gates McFadden has sex with a ghost. I can't wait. I cannot. I know I'm a child. I'm laughing at Gay Falcon. I'm laughing at that redhead who's banging a ghost. It's wild. But hey, that's what you get from the Weber internet thingy. And Joe says, from a candle. He didn't say yet, but I'm implying from a candle yet. Joe and I really want you to know how much we just love the fact that people like and subscribe to Weber Internet Thingy, the shows that we do together. We do all kinds of shows here at the Thingy as well. We're just so happy to do those shows for you. It is so much fun. And every time you like and subscribe, you really help us so much. So please, if you're not already liking and subscribing, please do so. And feel free to share any of this with your friends. That would be great too, because we do have an awfully good time. What's Chris saying? The only word I can say with a Scottish accent, Brigadoon. See, that I can't do it, but Chris can. And Sauter says, sorry, I'm still giggling at Dan Aykroyd's cheap eye-crossing gag when he had sex with a ghost in Ghostbusters. And Joe says, John always makes me look like I got some talent and smarts. Not a lot of work to do. Okay, I am just filled with adoration for all my friends for watching this show. If you got this far, you are one of us. Feel free to join in the chat. This show goes up every Thursday night, and I just love sharing old time radio with my friends. It is the one thing that makes listening to old time radio better, and that is listening to it with you. So I think that might do it. Have I covered everything? Mike Sauter says, one of us. So yeah, Sunday, Raphael's Sunday will be Wonderful World of Weber. And for this Sunday's episode, we're going to be playing another radio show for you. So 2 radio shows next week. I love doing that. I absolutely love doing that. And hey, let's get out of here, shall we? Thank you so much. Look how short the show is. We're so good at this. Goodbye, my friends. See you next week.